Welcome to Fantastic Vision. Please subscribe us before you watch today's video. In the global semiconductor market, Korean companies also have a certain position. Companies like Samsung and SK Hynix have considerable advantages in memory chips and wafer foundry. Therefore, when the United States implements restrictions on Chinese chips, it often involves South Korea. Everyone knows the position of South Korea. It has always chosen to follow and obey, which has caused a lot of losses to Korean chip companies. Even so, Korean companies do not seem to repent, but take the lead in taking action, and are destined to be cannon fodder. In recent years, the United States has continuously expanded its restrictions on Chinese chips, from targeting individual companies to the entire chip industry. Previously, it sanctioned Huawei, then added SMIC and others to the entity list, and later directly 140 semiconductor companies. Previously, it was mainly to cut off the supply of high-end chips, and later it was to restrict chip-related items such as cutting-edge semiconductor equipment, materials, and software. However, even if the United States and its allies implement a comprehensive blockade, it seems that it cannot hinder the progress of China's domestic chips. So it began to further target China's domestic chip industry, such as prohibiting the use of chips manufactured by mainland wafer companies. Foreign media have reported on this situation. Korean media previously stated that in response to relevant requirements of the United States, their relevant companies have begun to review and prohibit the use of chips manufactured in the mainland market, especially chips manufactured by mainland wafer companies. Obviously, the United States is targeting China's domestic chips. Because in recent years, despite the continuous increase in restrictions by the United States, domestic wafer factories such as SMIC have continued to accelerate expansion and increase the production capacity of mature process chips, and chip exports have begun to increase significantly. In addition, two world-renowned American computer brands have also been exposed to significantly reduce the use of chips from mainland China. Recently, Korean media reported that SK Hynix, a major Korean memory chip manufacturer, has begun to urgently review EDA tools from mainland China and may consider completely stopping their use in response to the chip restriction policy that may be introduced by the United States next. It is said that Samsung has also reported similar news, which shows that the US chip restrictions have extended to the field of chip design tools. There are also reports that SK Hynix and Samsung did this because they were under pressure from the United States. Since both companies are building factories in the United States, they will receive subsidies of $450 million and $4.745 billion respectively. So they naturally have to consider the relevant risks. EDA, or Chip Electronic Design Automation Tool, is often called the mother of chip design and is an indispensable key tool in current chip design. Because chip design is becoming more and more complex, it is impossible to complete related work by hand alone. Only by relying on EDA tools can relevant design and verification tools be completed quickly to reduce errors and save costs. The EDA market has always been basically monopolized by American and Western companies. Even by 2024, Synopsys, Cadence and Siemens EDA, three American companies, still account for 32%, 29% and 13% of the global market share, totaling 74%. However, With the continuous increase in US chip restrictions, China is also accelerating the development of domestic EDA tools and has made breakthrough progress. The more well-known domestic EDA software companies include Huada Jiutian, Prologix Electronics, and Guangli Micro. It is worth mentioning that domestic EDA tools have also begun to go abroad. For example, the customers of Huada Jiutian and Prospectus include Samsung and SK Hynix. It is said that Prospectus's device modeling software has also been adopted by TSMC's 5 nanometers production line. The reason for this is that China's EDA is more cost-effective than that of European and American companies, and it does not bundle high service fees. Therefore, foreign companies such as Samsung and SK Hynix will choose China's domestic EDA. However, although China's EDA tools are more cost-effective, the United States has not yet clearly begun to restrict them. SK Hynix and Samsung have taken the lead in taking action. Switching to American EDA will increase their single-chip design cost by 30%. Even so, they dare not continue to use Chinese EDA. It can be seen that Korean companies are completely scared by the United States and are willing to act as cannon fodder for others. They seem to have forgotten that 40% of Korean chips are exported to the mainland market, which has always been their first chip export market. At the same time, the United States' chip restrictions on China will only drag South Korea into it, but it never considers how much loss it will bring to Korean companies. SK Hynix, Samsung and other Korean companies have already tasted a lot of bitter fruits, and they still have to do this, which can only be said to be their own fault. In this regard, some foreign media directly commented that Samsung, SK Hynix, and other Korean companies are destined to be cannon fodder. In fact, this is not surprising, because this is their tone. The more pressure and fines the United States puts on them, the more they obey. But from another perspective, even Korean companies are worried about being targeted by the United States for using domestic EDA, which shows that Chinese EDA has risen again. However, even if Korean companies stop using Chinese EDA, it will not be a big problem, because China's market is mainly in China.